I've had a few people ask me to show them how to do the ladder stitch, also called the slip stitch or invisible stitch. So tonight, I'm going to walk you through it the best that I can. Now listen, I'm not a professional seamstress. I'm completely self-taught. But that's the heart of homemaking, right? It's so much more than cooking and cleaning.
Mrs. G. Oh, Mrs. G.
Sewing these days feels like it's becoming a lost art. Things get ripped and tossed out or donated when really they're simple little fixes. All you need is a little bit of patience and a basic sewing kit like the one I'm using right here. So let me show you exactly how this stitch works step by step. First things first, choose a needle and a thread that matches your fabric. That part is really important because the goal for your stitching is to disappear when we're done. Go ahead and thread your needle, then pull the thread through until the two ends meet. Tie them together in a small knot at the end. That gives you a nice doubled thread to work with, which makes the stitch stronger and a little easier to control. When your needle is threaded, it should look just like the illustration here. The thread passes straight through the eye of the needle, the two ends meet, and they're tied together in a simple knot. I'm working with fleece, and even with a knot, the thread likes to slip right through the fabric. So I'm going to make an extra little knot right into the fabric to anchor it. You don't have to do this step unless you notice your knot passing through the material like mine does. If you do need to anchor your thread, you bring the needle and the thread from the underside of the fabric to the top. Then I go right back down again very close to where I came up. That creates a little loop. Leave the little loop. Then I bring the needle back up through and through that loop to tighten and secure it. It makes a tiny anchor stitch that keeps the thread from slipping through by simply pulling once you've gone through that loop. For my own personal comfort while sewing, I'm going to turn the fabric to the side. That just makes it easier for me to place the stitches neatly, but you can hold yours in whatever position feels natural to you. Now we're ready to sew. You'll notice the opening in the fabric has two folded edges. If you're fixing a pillow with a popped seam or a stuffy or whatever you're fixing, you're going to want to create those folded edges by simply finger pressing a quarter of an inch down so that you're left with the neat edges. We're going to work back and forth between those folds, and the stitches will look like little rungs of a ladder. That's where the name comes from. I start by taking a tiny horizontal stitch on the inside of the fold of the fabric on one side, then move straight across to the other side to take the same tiny stitch on the other side of that fold. Then I hop right back to the first side and do it again. Right side, left side, right side, left side. You're always stitching straight across from that one fold to the other. Now, my hands are not as good as they used to be. I have problems with my wrists and my fingers, so my stitches are not always as neat as they could be. But what you are going for is a nice horizontal stitch back and forth that will look like a little ladder with rungs. That's exactly what we want at this stage. Once you've gone a short distance, gently pull the thread, and this is where the magic happens. Once you've reached the end of your opening, we're going to knot off the thread. To do that, take one tiny stitch right along the fold, just a bite of fabric. Don't pull it tight all the way. Leave a small loop and then pass your needle through that loop. Pull gently and it will form a secure knot. Now to hide that knot, I take the needle and I push it straight into the fabric right where the knot is. Run the needle inside the fabric for about an inch, then bring it back out. And when you pull the thread through, the knot tucks itself neatly inside the fabric and disappears. Go ahead and snip off that extra thread that you pulled through, and your seam is finished. Nice, clean, and invisible. Now I'm just going to take this stitching apart and do the whole process again, but this time without the voiceover. I know some of you learn best by simply watching, so the second run will let you see each step nice and clearly without me talking over it. And before I start stitching the second time, I'm going to show you a little graphic of how the thread should go back and forth between the fabrics. Thank you so much for watching this little how-to with me. I appreciate you more than you know, and I truly hope that a few of you were able to learn this simple little stitch, because it really does make such a big difference in your sewing projects and repairs. Like I said, I am not a professional seamstress. I'm completely self-taught, and these hands aren't as nimble as they used to be. There are loads of lovely people out there who can do this stitch far neater than I can, and if you're still unsure about any part of it, there are so many wonderful seamstresses here on YouTube who teach this stitch beautifully and in great detail. Thank you again for spending this time with me. I love you. You are perfect as you are. Happy sewing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.